Hey, how's it going, guys? There's a lot of things going on in the world, but I don't really want to talk about none of them. Um, well, maybe I do. Maybe later on in the video I do, but I want to talk about being a man, right? Um, Being a man is hard. Being a man is hard. About a month ago, um, maybe a couple months ago, this young kid got shot and killed. A couple young kids got shot and killed at a house party in Chula Vista, right? My nephew Jacob was supposed to be at the house party. He was gonna go and do his thing. He's 15 or 16, plays football, so he's relatively popular, and he was supposed to be there. He decided he didn't want to go in the last second, and you know, thankfully he didn't go because you know, a couple things happened. A couple kids started arguing. And then somebody put out a gun and started shooting, right? And a couple kids got shot and unfortunately died. That night or the next night where I live, they did a vigil. So you had about 30, 40 people show up and light candles and pray and all that nice, kind stuff. Because it's really sweet when people do that because they don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that. And so they show up and they hold a vigil for these two kids. And, you know, they left, right? The next day after that, about four young kids, while I'm working out at the gym where I stay, um, you can tell these kids don't belong. They don't belong there. They don't belong in the gym. They don't belong in my apartments. Um, they just don't belong. And they're just hanging out in the locker room of the gym. And I don't know why, but something inside of me was just like, hey, let's go talk to those kids, right? So I went to the locker room and I asked them. I was like, hey, are you all the friends of the kid that died? And they were like, yeah. And keep in mind, these are kids that are kind of dressed hood, and they're trying to portray an image of gangster. And I go, man, that sucks that happens to that happened to your friend. I knew that kid. I played basketball with them a couple times. I go, so I'm sorry to hear about that. And then I asked him, I was like, can I, I go, can I give you some words of wisdom? And the reason I asked instead of just giving it to them was because I didn't want it to come off as a lecture. I just wanted it to be information that they can give or take at their leisure, right? Something for them to marinate on for the future. And they said, yeah. I go and I the words that came out of my mouth, bro. I don't know how I say certain things when they need to be said, but sometimes the shit that comes out of my mouth it's solid, man. It's solid, and I don't think about saying it. It just kind of like bleh, it just comes out. And so the first thing I said was, you know, being a man is hard, bro. Being a man is hard. I go, and the truth is, you as a man, nobody cares about you. Society doesn't care about you. The only people that are going to care about you in this life is going to be the people that are the closest to you, which are your mom and your dad. And if you have brothers or siblings, but that's not even guaranteed, right? Because relationships with brothers and sisters, they fluctuate a lot. And even with your mom and your dad, that can be very inconsistent because you can have really, really bad parents. But I would say 99.9% of the time that holds true. The only people that really care about you at the end of the day, it's not going to be your wife, it's not going to be anybody, it's going to be your parents. I go, and because of that, being a man can be very lonely a lot of the time. I go, and it sucks. And it's not fair. It's not fair that society cares about women. It's not fair that society cares about kids. But it's not fair that society doesn't care about men. All the homeless people, all the drug addicts, the majority of suicides. I mean, you see it today in our corporate environment. Everything is catered towards women. You go to a store, everything's catered towards women. Society in general is catered towards women and children. It's not catered towards men. There's nothing about life that favors men. The dating market, nothing. Everything is in a woman's favor. And since they have the kids, that's a partnership. Divorce, alimony, child support. I mean, the court system. Everything is 100% against the man and 100% in favor of women. I go, but here's the thing, man. Here's the, I don't want to sound bleak or anything like that. I go, I'm sorry that your friend's gone. And I know y'all are hurting inside. And I see you have your candles that y'all brought to light. I go, but death isn't necessarily a bad thing. The event that happened was bad. But death itself is not necessarily a bad thing, because death reminds us, it helps us to prioritize what's important. Because there's many times in life you're going to confuse yourself and place things that aren't important in front of things that are important. And then you're just going to get things really mixed up and get lost. But death has a way of reminding us of what's really important. It does. It just does. I go, so, y'all brought your candles. I go, that's cool, man. Go out there, light them, say some prayers. I go, but don't be disappointed if nobody shows up today besides you guys. And some people might show up. Yesterday, a lot of people showed up. Some people might show up today, plus you guys. But give it a week. Eventually, nobody's going to show up. Eventually, it's going to be you guys. And then from the 4 of you guys, it's going to be 2, and then maybe 1, and then eventually 0. I go, and that's not a bad thing. That's just the way life is. And the reason I'm here talking to you guys is because I'm trying to just communicate what life is and what expectations should be. Because if you understand that, you have a better chance of winning. Life, this beautiful thing we call life, it doesn't stop for anybody. It doesn't matter who dies. It doesn't matter who's been killed. It doesn't matter how tragic the events are across the entire world. Time keeps ticking. The clock keeps going in circles. The sun will set, the sun will rise. And so you can either choose to live by the sword and live a life that's going to eventually lead you to where your friend is at. Or you can decide to take control of yourself, take control of your life. Stop looking for society to care about you and just accept that it doesn't care about you. And then use that. Use that as a way to just shoot yourself Because once you stop looking around and you're like, is somebody going to help me? Is somebody going to help me? Is anybody going to help me? Once you stop looking around and you stop waiting for people to jump on your team, jump on your train, jump on your bandwagon, and you just decide to do it yourself, as a man, it becomes easier. Would it be easier if there were programs and things like that for men? Yeah, of course. But there's not. And so there's either acceptance of that or denial of that. And the more that you deny it, the longer it's going to take for you to get back in order or get in order. And as a man, there's something refreshing with knowing that there's nobody coming to our rescue. That it's up to us. We got to figure it out. It's all on us, man. So feel bad for your friend. Shed some tears. Light your candles. But I hope that when you leave today, you all realize that being a man is hard. But once you figure it out, bro, being a man is fucking awesome. Being a man is just unreal once you figure it out. There's nothing better than being a man that has everything in order. People look up to you. Your wife looks to you. Your kids look to you. Your family looks to you. Everybody looks to you, man. Because somewhere along the way, you made the transformation from a weak, pathetic person into a rock, a stone, iron. And everybody's looking for that stable foundation. Everybody's looking for somebody of soft and stable mind, strong and hard mind. So everybody's looking for somebody that seems to know what the hell they're doing, because most people in this world don't know what the hell they're doing. They just don't. Most people are still, no matter how old they are living a life of wondering, contemplating, planning. But a man that is able to figure it out, piece it together, and do it on his own, is a man that walks in so high confidence. And people stare at them and hold them in such high regard, because subconsciously and even consciously, they know that man had to do it alone. And because of that, you become kind of like this icon, this fictional character, this folklore, what do they call them, or like this myth, right? But it's not easy, man. There's something about society that it wants to soften men. It wants to make men weak. It wants to make men fragile. It wants to turn men into women. There's something about society and trying to kill the spirit of the man. I look online. I see the news. I see the TV. I see what's on the social medias. And it's all negative. Everything towards men is negative. I don't hear anything positive about men. Anything. The only time I hear anything positive coming out of men is from other men who are trying to stand for the men of the world. Where they're like, hey guys, where's all this hate and anger coming from? We don't get it. Like, we don't get it. We literally built the road. We've stabilized the road. We've made this so safe for you as women to feel so safe that you can complain about any and everything to our face. Built the streets, the trucks, the trains, the planes, the electricity, the water, the sewage. Everything was built by the hands of man. The hands of men. The streets are patrolled by men. If there's a fire, men show up to put it out. When there's a search and rescue team, it's men. When it's time to fight a war, there's men. Everything meaningful in life is operated and functioned by men. Everything. That's not to say that women do nothing. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is everything of importance in life was created and operated by men. It's just the truth. And I think somewhere with that level of comfort that the female gender has been able to just enjoy off of the fruits, off of the labor of men, they've forgotten that that was all done for them. Everything was done for women. These men created and built all of this for women and for children. Before I met my wife, I had an apartment, little one-bedroom apartment. I had a fold-out chair, a little lawn chair, a dinner table, and a TV, and a mattress on the floor. I was good, man. I didn't need anything else. I didn't need fancy dishes, a fancy couch. I didn't need a nightstand. I didn't need anything. I had a chair, a mattress, and a TV. And then when I met a woman, well, guess what? That made things a little bit more complicated. She wanted to be more comfortable. She wanted a couch. She wanted an actual bed, not a mattress on the floor, right? She wanted a headboard and things off the ground and dressers and mirrors and, decorations, curtains, dishes, nice pots and pans. And to make her happy, we got all that. But if it was just me in my life with no woman, I would have been happy with my little cave. My little cave that had nothing in it but what I felt was necessary for my life to function. And that's how cavemen were for hundreds of years, thousands of years, however long a caveman existed. They were happy in their cave. They would go out, beat the shit out some food, make a little campfire, cook it, eat it, take a nap, start it again the next day. Caveman met cavewoman. Cavewoman said, "This isn't good enough, honey. Like, I can't, I don't feel safe in this cave." And so caveman, transitioned from cave into building huts and to what we now have as our house, the modern apartment, the modern townhome, condo, whatever you want to call them. All of that was created for women. Because if it was left to men, we would have been fine in our cave. And that just goes to the true love that men have for women in general. That men will alter the world. Men will create things that were never thought of, things that at one point in time would have been considered witchcraft. A dishwasher, a washing machine. You understand? Like these, an iron, a sewing machine. Like these are devices that at one point in time they would have been considered witchcraft. People would have been hanged. Freaking electricity. Like the idea that electricity can travel through wires and get to a house to light a bulb and a TV in. Like, internet, people still don't know how the hell the internet works. It makes no sense. Wi-Fi, it makes no sense. Bluetooth, none of it makes sense. You can explain it a million freaking times, but it doesn't make sense. But somehow men created that to make life easier and better for women. And so as a man, I do get a little frustrated, man. I get a little frustrated with the ungratefulness that's out there from women to men. I do get frustrated at how there can be so much animosity towards the very gender that has gone above and beyond to do everything they can to make your life easier. I just don't get it. And the only thing I can say is in my past videos, I've talked about how people live in a state of hypnosis, a trance, a trance-like state. And I think women are more susceptible to that because they are more social. I think that's the term, social. It's not, it's where they care about, other people. Men care about other people, but just not to the significance of women, right? So as I gave all this information to these young kids, man, just to bring it back, I go, being a man is hard. I go, but if you can figure it out, bro, one day you're going to look around and you're going to be like, man, life is good. And that's where I'm at. I look around and I'm like, man, life is good. I got a good job. I got a good wife. I have 4 awesome boys, good looking, healthy boys. Like, for the most part, I'm healthy. I get this shit, gout. I don't know, man. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I have a great handle on it, but it's still like, what the hell's going on there? But other than that, like, I'm super healthy. I'm in pretty good shape. And life is good, man. And I did all the work. It wasn't given to me. There's no nepotism here. I have a mom, and I didn't have a dad. And there's more to that story. But unfortunately, I didn't learn any of this from her. How could she? She wasn't a man. Even at her hardest times, there were people there willing to help her. There was a government willing to help her. There were friends and family willing to help her. Men we don't receive that. We don't get that. And I told him, I hope y'all figure it out. I hope that, in a year, if we ever bump into each other, I hope you're doing better than you are today. I go, but the odds are a couple of you will succeed and the other 2 won't. I go, and that's sad, but that's just the odds. And the reason those are the odds is because out of all my friends, I'm one of 2 or 3 that were able to figure it out. The rest are still living the life of struggle, the life of hood. If they're not dead, they're in jail, or they still live with their parents in poverty. I go, so I hope y'all figure it out. I hope y'all, you can take what you need from these words, but, you know, stop looking around for help and understand that your life is really just a sum of your decisions. If you make more good decisions than you make bad, your life will turn out good. But if you make more bad decisions than you make good, it's not going to be good for you. And also, you can make a lot of really good decisions, but make one extremely, extremely bad decision. And that can erase all your good decisions. So just be very cautious of the decisions you make and try to make the best ones. And if you do that and you do that enough times, your life will just gradually get better. It will. And then one day you'll look back and you're like, wow, I got a nice place. I have a nice ride. I have a pretty decent looking woman. She takes care of me. She feeds me. She takes care of my needs from down here. And then maybe one day you'll be blessed with a kid. God's greatest gift, man. And then that kid's going to look to you. Whether it's a boy or a girl, if it's a boy, they're going to look to you to learn how to be a man. If it's a girl, she's going to look to you at what her future husband's going to be. In both cases, you have to set that example. If it's a boy, you got to set an example of how to be a man, how to be a husband, how to be a hard worker, how to do things. If you have a little girl, you got to become the husband that you want her to have, because she's going to marry somebody like you. And so if you're an alcoholic, guess what? She's going to marry an alcoholic. If you're abusive, she's going to marry somebody that's abusive. If you're not serious and you're bouncing job to job, guess what? She's going to marry somebody that's bouncing job to job and that's not serious. But if you make the right decisions, you do what's right, life has a way of figuring itself out and just landing you in the right place at the right time. But you gotta make the good decisions. Being a man is hard. But if you can figure it out, guys, being a man it's awesome, dude. Having the just the courage to say what you want and not worry what people are going to think about you. You're like, I don't care. But actually mean it. And not just say it because you're trying to pretend like you don't care, but no, actually be like, this is where I stand. This is why I stand here. I'll stand alone. I don't care. Man, bro. It's amazing. It's amazing, bro. So that's that, right? I wanna talk about the Epstein files. And you know, I just can't help but feel like we're all being played. I just can't help it. I don't get me wrong. Do I believe that there are pedophiles running around? Yeah. Do I believe that there's people with money and wealth doing things that they shouldn't be doing? Yeah. Do I think that there's a group of people that worship Satan and things like that? I do. But what's coming on these Epstein files, bro? I don't know. It just does, something doesn't seem right. And I'm not saying, Trump's DOJ is trying to hide stuff. No, I like they're releasing what's there, right? If that's what they have, that's what they're releasing. But I just can't help but to feel like a lot of it is manufactured. And I was hearing somebody talk, right? And it reminded me of what the ultimate goal of the powers that be, what their ultimate goal is right now. And the ultimate goal is to conduct the great reset of society, the financial system, everything, everything. Restructured borders, governments. And well, if that's your ultimate goal, you kind of have to just kill all credibility of government, financial institutions, of people with money and wealth. And doesn't it just all fit perfectly? Doesn't it all just like a puzzle? Doesn't it all just have all everything you need in there if you're trying to destroy trust in your public institutions and your private institutions? Doesn't it just have everything you need? One more time. Do I think things like this have been happening? I do. Do I think Hollywood is satanic? Absolutely. Do I think Hollywood is made up of a bunch of pedophiles and people that have been raped by pedophiles? I do. But there's that, and then there's what's coming out. And I just can't help but feel like, I don't know if it's the word is orchestration or exaggeration. I don't know what the appropriate words to use are. But if you're trying to collapse society by destroying trust in government and its institutions, this kind of has all of that for you. And it's enough to destroy it for both sides, Democrat and Republican. And that's just on the American side. That doesn't even touch base with the countries across the world. And isn't it weird how it all coincides with the extreme money printing, the extreme inflation that all Western countries and most countries have been experiencing, and where they all kind of need a financial reset, just one big collapse, and how they've been importing people left and right from war-torn countries. Doesn't it all just conveniently fit together, guys? Or is it just me? There's something there, and I feel like it's part of a larger plot. I have no proof. I have no evidence for that. It's just more of a feeling, like when I see it, and it's kind of like with this Guthrie chick, the reporter with her mom disappeared. It just seems so fake. It just seems so orchestrated and fake. All of it. The Epstein files, that fake kidnapping. It all just seems so orchestrated and fake. There's something going on. There's a larger plot. I don't know if it's part of that whole reset the system thing. I don't know. But there's something there where something inside of me says, it's not right. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right. And so it's just something that I'm going to be watching for. And hopefully that's something that kind of shoots a red flag for you guys and you watch for. Um, the last thing I want to talk about is God, man. I don't know God's name. I don't know if it's Yahweh. I don't know if it's Jesus, Allah, Buddha. I don't know. No idea. Can't tell you. I don't know which religion is the correct religion. Don't know. No idea. Anybody that says they know for a fact, they don't know. Nobody knows. What was it? Eloway or something? Elohim, Christ. I mean, there's so many different names. How do we know which one is the correct one? I only use God because that's the one that's been used since the beginning. All I know is I know that there is a God. I don't know God's name. And I feel like we're in times where if you're questioning the existence of God, or you're unsure about the existence of God, I just want you to know from a normie like me that I know 100% that there is a God. There's no doubt in my mind. And the reason I know that is, and I think I've talked about this in the past, is from the very first time I heard my son's heartbeat inside of his mother when I was in the Navy. Something happened inside of me. And then when I saw him for the first time, and then I would smell, after he was born, and I would take care of him, and he would eat, and then all the milk would drip here because he was a messy eater. And he would go to sleep, and I would just smell him, and he smelled like rotten milk and sweat. And I would look at his eyes, man. And now I see him as an adult. There's no way you can convince me that that beautiful, amazing creature is not a gift from God. And then I had 3 more, and they're all so different. Same living conditions, same upbringings, same discipline, same everything. But they're all so, so different and unique. And so this idea that we are meat and chemicals is about the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life. And so if you're questioning it, just look into the eyes of the person you love the most. And understand the reason you love that person the most is because there's something so unique in them that differentiates that person from everybody else on earth, the 7 billion people that we have on earth. And understand that there's only one thing that can create 7 billion unique individuals. When I look at the trees sway in the wind, when I watch the birds, just flap about, sing their songs, when I watch a squirrel grabbing some nuts and going under the ground or into a tree, everything is just so damn perfect. And the only thing that's not perfect are us as human beings. Everything else is perfect. Nature is perfect. And, I hope that, if you're somebody questioning that just understand you don't need a religion. You don't need to know the name of the one true God. Because the truth is, the names that we've been provided or given, there's a good chance all of them are wrong. And anybody that tells you that they know for sure, 100% fact, the one true name of God, They're full of shit. Nobody does. None of us were around at that time. And all the scripture and books that have been written since then, they've all been manipulated. They've all been altered. They're not the originals. The originals are either burnt, destroyed, or highly guarded. And some were super, super secure that we'll never be able to see them. Talk to God. Don't ask for anything. If you have problems, don't ask God to solve your problems. Ask Him for the strength to help you solve your own problems. If you're going through financial hard times, don't ask God to give you money. Ask God for the wisdom to help you solve your financial struggles. If you're in a marriage and you're struggling with your marriage, don't ask God to fix your marriage. Ask God for guidance on how you and your wife can resolve issues and get to a better place. God does not exist to serve our needs. He's already served our needs. He's given us oxygen. He's given us this earth with beautiful oceans and bodies of water, land, food. He's given us everything that we need already. Just ask for guidance. Ask for, the ability to become more strong-minded so you can find your way through. And talking to God doesn't mean you have to be perfect, because we're not. That's how we were created. So being perfect isn't part of the equation, but it's understanding that when you make mistakes and you cross people and you do harm by people, that you make amends with those people, that you do right by those people. Being a perfect person is not part of the equation when it comes to being a human being. But doing your best to become a better person and to pass that through generational, and hopefully every generation gets better and better and better. That should be the ultimate goal. And we do live in a time where I feel like society as a whole is going backwards, but it's because of the absence of God. I really do believe that. I do believe that people are replacing the spirituality of God with materialism, envy, jealousy, gluttony. They've replaced spirituality with food, the desire for money, the desire for sex, the desire for wealth, the desire for fame. You understand? Like, they've essentially replaced God with everything that's listed on the 7 deadly sins. The good news is we can turn this around. But we have to stop being so damn selfish and making everything about us. Because life isn't about us. And once you have kids, you realize life is so much bigger than just you. And so I hope and I encourage anybody that's not there yet, just start. On your own time. You could be driving. Just look at the beautiful sun rays. Look at the clouds. The trees sway in the wind. And just say, man, thank you so much, God, for my life. My life isn't where I want it to be, but I'm working towards it. And I appreciate everything you've provided me to help me accomplish my goals. Thank you. And by doing something so simple, man, it's amazing how fast your life can turn around. But doing the opposite, I'm telling you, it'll keep your ass right where you're at. Asking for everything, but being willing to put in no work, you're not going to get anywhere. Um, One more thing, and this kind of goes back to the Epstein files, right? You have people like Bonnie Blue, the porn star chick, and then I forgot the other one, Lindsay. I don't know. They both slept with like 1,000 guys in one night, one day, right? And then you have a lot of these young girls that do porn, heavy porn, and I can't help but wonder if the reason that they are so comfortable, these women are so comfortable with doing that and selling their bodies for money, if it's not all tied together. If, from the time they're kids, they're not surrounded by a bunch of little Epsteins, a bunch of people that just use them, take advantage of them, hurt them, and then they just create this pipeline where they go from being kids that were sexually abused, molested, and they just funnel them to the adult entertainment industry. I can't help but wonder if that's how that happens. And I think I'm onto something there. Because when you look at these people and you look in their eyes, they're dead. They're dead inside. And you can tell that they smile, they flaunt their money, they flaunt their riches that they were able to get by using their body. But spiritually, they're dead. And I can't help but wonder if that's because they found themselves on an island and then they just funneled them through the adult entertainment industry once they aged out of this perversion of pedophilia. If you have kids, man, keep an eye on them. Doesn't mean you have to hunt them down left and right. No, it just teach them how to protect themselves. If you have little girls, teach them how to protect themselves. Teach them the word respect. Say it again and again and again and again. Say it 1,000 times a day, but define what respect means. So they understand I need to respect myself as a woman. And I think for the most part, everything will be okay. Life is good, man. It really is. But you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. If you have kids, you got to put in the work. If you have a marriage, you got to put in the work. There are no days off when there's people that depend on you, people that look up to you. You always got to put in the work. You go to the beach, you put in work. You stand guard. That's your job as a parent, as a father. Your job is to keep your family safe. It doesn't matter what society is trying to tell you men are supposed to do. That's your job. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for your time. This one's just, I don't know. We're in a funny place as a and as a society, as a world, and I don't know what comes next, but I feel good. I feel hopeful. I do. I don't know why. Maybe because I go home, I look at my kids, I sit on the floor, I play with my 2-year-old. He's got his little dinosaurs. I tuck my big boys in, and I give them their hugs and their kisses, and I just do my best to enjoy all of it. I do my best to just cherish all of it. And there's times I could be better at doing that, but I'm human. I'm not perfect. And so that's all I got. Thank you.